Hi everyone, welcome to Dividends, the show for and about your College of Business. Have a great show today. A couple of guests, going to dive right in. First is Mark Scott. He's the director of the Veterans Business Outreach Center, and that is housed in the College of Business,
Correct.
but it really has a pretty broad scope. Tell us what the premise is and how Mississippi State came to get a center.
Great. The Veterans Business Outreach Center, we commonly call ourselves VBOC. Everybody has to have acronyms, so it makes it easier. So the VBOC at MSU is one of 22 that's spread across the United States. We are funded by the Small Business Administration Office of Veterans Business Development. Long thing, key thing to remember that we're part of the Small Business Administration SBA family. Like I said, we're one of 22. Mm-hmm. We won the grant in 2015. So
this is competitive. They just don't
Correct.
hand these out.
And
why Mississippi State? Why do you think it got the...
I think because we have a lot of veterans in the states that we cover. We cover Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana. I think that one of the key things that we put together was a great team that I have. I have myself as an instructor, Ashton Barlow, that does a lot of our outreach and our social marketing, getting the word out about the capabilities of the VBOC. And of course, Mike Pornovitz, I have located on the Gulf Coast, where there's a concentration of our veteran businesses, the Mississippi Gulf Coast, Alabama, and Louisiana area.
And you're trying to get vets to stand up their own business, right? As they're transitioning out of the service, is that right?
Correct. Our three primary missions, our three number one missions, the way I always look at it, is we help transitioning veterans that decide to leave the service or retire from the service. The service now has a great program called TAP, the Transition Assistance Program. And what that does is allows veterans a year out from when they decide to get out or retire to start thinking about what they're going to do in their next life. You got to remember, most of these veterans are, if they're getting out, they could still be in their 20s, or even if they're retiring, they're in their 40s. So they've got a long work career ahead of them. Mm-hmm. And during the transition process, they can raise their hand and say, I'm thinking about being an entrepreneur. I want to start a small business. So we teach a 2-day program on 10 installations between Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana, a 2-day course that introduces them to entrepreneurship. And then they go and decide if they want to, that's something they want to pursue. It gives them sort of a broad idea what it takes to be a small business owner. And when they complete that course, they are eligible for follow-on course called Boots to Business Revenue Readiness, which we're very proud to say is also funded by the SBA here at Mississippi State University. It is a 6-week online course that takes them through the business model development into a business plan. So that's one of our core missions that we do. We also do outreach. We go to different events with SBA, with other resource partners, with other veteran organizations, to make sure that people understand that they can get assistance from the VBOC, from the SBA to create their business.
So we work with a lot of graduate students who have a military background, who are either still in the military or transitioning out. And we find that they may not have necessarily the business background, but they bring some strengths in terms of skill sets that the military perhaps ingrained in them. You find that as well?
Yes, and that's one of the things that we talk about in our 2-day course, is because they're prepared to move on to a different life. And we want to make sure that they understand all that discipline, all that do the mission first, maturity, all that has been brought to them and taught to them over their military career is very valuable in small business, because as you know, in a small business owner, you get to wear every hat. And that's what they have been trained to do in the military. And one of the things is starting small business is not everything's going to go right. And so they have the ability to think through problems and create solutions and move forward.
All right, so they come through VBOC, they can do Boots to Business, but what if they need some or want some one-on-one counseling?
Yes, that's one of our other missions, that as you start your small business, you're not going to know everything. And so look at us, the VBOC, as a resource. We like to call ourselves navigators. You come to us, we'll do some one-on-one counseling with you, and we'll determine a path for you to be on. And there are other resources within SBA, small business development centers, women development centers, SCORE, which is an organization of executives, retired executives, give their time back to help coach people. We'll get you set up with the right resource you need to be successful.
Now, so I imagine these centers aren't necessarily a great fit for every university, and but for some reason at Mississippi State it works because we are very, very ingrained in helping our veterans.
Well, obviously, as you know, we started as a lot of military background through our university. We've grown to be one of the top veteran-friendly universities in the nation. We have our Sonny Montgomery Center for American Veterans that we work closely with. I mean, they're focused on students and veterans that are here to continue their education. We are focused on the veterans that want to continue that education and become small business owners.
Well, thank you for what you do, and thanks for coming on and sharing it with our audience. Folks, we put up some contact information at the end of the program if you'd like to learn more or get in touch. Good to have you here. Thanks.
Well, I appreciate the time, and happy holidays, and be safe and start your business next year.
All right. We're going to take a break. Be back with more in just a moment. Stay tuned.
So you have an idea. It's exciting. It's original. It's genius. And you think it could be the next big thing. But how do you turn this idea into reality? At the Entrepreneurship Center, we will guide you through every step of the entrepreneurial process and help along the way, from developing and enhancing your idea to building your product and bringing it to market. Our programs will help refine your idea and connect you with other creative individuals. You can collaborate with students and discover their brilliant ideas, learn from expert faculty and accomplished business leaders, and even receive money to expand your venture and start your own company. Whether your idea is a revolutionary product, app, or service, we can help. The Entrepreneurship Center at Mississippi State University. From invention to innovation, it starts here.
Imagine the next big idea from the next generation of business leaders. We are at Mississippi State University, where we ring true.
Here, there's a spirit that makes people move a little differently. We're the all-nighters, crime fighters, and rocket igniters. The adventure seekers, record breakers, and noise makers. We innovate, lead. We inspire. We're family, bound by a common bond that's changing the world. Mississippi State University, where we ring true.
Welcome back, everyone. My next guest is Dr. Brandon Klein, and he's in the finance department here in the College of Business, and they're running a real interesting program. Gives our students a chance to do some outside the classroom, investing, really. Right?
That's right.
Tell us a bit about the program.
Well, it's a TVA Investment Challenge, and so basically the idea is TVA has outsourced some of their funds to public universities and private universities to allow students real-world experience investing in portfolios, making investment decisions regarding stocks and overall market performance.
So what kind of guidance do you give these students? I mean, obviously they have some finance background, but they're still college kids, so you're giving them, this is real money.
It's
right?
real money.
What do you tell them?
Tell them to think, go out and look for good companies, good solid companies. TVA does provide some guidelines, and so basically we're holding a value-based S&P benchmarked fund. And so they're looking for, there's certain guidelines about weightings of sectors and that kind of thing. But I tell them to be entrepreneurial, go out and look for good companies, do thorough analysis, and come back and make a strong pitch to the group so that we make good investment decisions.
You've been doing this for a while now, so how have they done?
So I had the opportunity, this is my 5th year now. And so I saw it as an opportunity to be able to allow students to get more real-world, boots-on-the-ground type of experience. And since I've taken over in the last 5 years, the students have outperformed the S&P 500 4 out of those 5 years. And so, which is phenomenal. Most money managers don't have that type of record.
Yeah, wait, I got some money here. You can see if you can. Hey, what can you do with $20? Well, so what do you attribute that to? I mean, that's pretty good.
Solid students. One thing that's unique about this program is students apply, and so I'll get typically around 40, 45 good applications every year. And we go through and select 8 to 10 of Mississippi State's best and brightest. We're not limited to the business school. Most of our students are finance majors or accounting majors, but some are in agribusiness. I've had engineers. So it's not confined to the business school. So really it's across the university, any student that has a passion for investing, and particularly investing in stocks. And so I have the opportunity to work with some of our best and brightest. And so no doubt that's what I would contribute to.
And you take these folks on the road too. You got a conference in Nashville.
We do.
You take them to New York.
We have a regional conference every year, and the students go, and it's really a way for TVA to come back and vet some of their investment decisions, just their stewardship over the funds. And it gives the students the opportunity to really get in front of people and explain and answer detailed questions about the decisions that they've made. So we have the regional conference in the fall, and the national conference is in Nashville every year. They give a presentation there, and again, it's they interact with some of best professional money managers in the country, or at these locations. And also take them to New York. We have a Quinnipiac Game Challenge, and we typically go up a day or two early. We've visited the New York Stock Exchange,
right.
Try to arrange meetings with Goldman Sachs, Bloomberg, those types of things. And again, just an opportunity for students to start to get comfortable interacting, talking to people about what they're doing, the decisions that they're making. And so anytime you can get outside of the university and talk about those things, I think is really beneficial to them.
Yeah, and I'm sure it makes a big impression on them, but I'm also interested in what kind of impression our students are making in Nashville or New York if they're having this kind of success, because there are, unfortunately, stereotypes associated with Mississippi, right?
It is. It is phenomenal. I don't know how many times, especially people that haven't interacted with our students, there are stereotypes, as you mentioned, but I think it gives us an opportunity to get our best and brightest in front of top companies. And as a result, the placement of these students has drastically improved. And the placement of these students, probably in comparison to the rest of our, at least finance majors and across the business school, are among the best. And I think that's what you're saying is what I would attribute it to. They get seen. Right? We have a lot of really, really talented students. And so it's at least an avenue that we can show this talent, showcase that to other top managers. And we see that through the placement. Well,
you're beating the S&P index, so 4 out of 5 years?
4 out of 5, and we're on track this year. We are currently outpacing the S&P, so if we can hold on for the next few weeks, I think we'll...
Well, one constant in all that has been you. So while you're bragging on the students, let me wrap up by saying thank you for what you're bringing something to the table that's really helping the students.
It's been a pleasure.
And that's what Mississippi State's all about. So thanks for what you're doing, and thanks for coming on and sharing that with us.
Thank you for having me.
That's going to do it for us, folks. We appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time on Dividends.